The Laws of Ascension, Chapter 110, Harpies. Welcome back, Vera says as Lorik walks into the living room. I thought you went and took on a task? Lorik asks. Now that they're mages, most tasks are too far to complete and return in one day. I couldn't find any good ones. I did find one, but it would have taken about a week to complete. Vera replies. What would it have had you doing? Lorik asks. Just heading down south to a dungeon, but it's about a 3-day trip on horseback. Emberfang is faster, so I could probably get there in just a day or so, but I decided against it. She replies before Lorik peeks toward the kitchen. Where are the others? Did they take on tasks? Lorik asks. They did. There's a new duo task for mages, Vera replies, surprising Lorik. Duo task? Lorik asks, causing her to sigh in relief. I'm glad I'm not the only one who didn't know. They're a new type of task for mages. 2 people are needed to take them on. They're tougher than regular tasks, but not as much as team tasks. Vera replies. Did you take a look at them before? Lorik asks. No, 2 people are needed to take a look at them, Vera replies. Do you want to take a look? Sure. Are you ready to go now? Lorik replies, causing her to nod. They leave their dorms and lock the door behind them. Then they walk down to the task center. They find a table and sit down. Vera activates it and a screen appears. A new duo option is available, and she selects it. The available tasks disappear before new ones appear. They start reading through the 34 tasks, ranging from 10th to 7th tier difficulty. What about this one? Vera asks while they read a vague description of the task. It's to go to a dungeon 2 days northeast of the capital. With Nixfang and Emberfang, they can get there tomorrow afternoon after camping the night. The dungeon is a Harpy one. Can you handle flying monsters? Lorik asks. I'll find out, Vera replies, causing him to nod. If we head out now, we can clear it tomorrow twice. We could do it a 3rd time the next day and then return. Lorik says, then let's go. Vera says before they accept the task. They get up and head out. Lorik changes into his armor before they leave the academy. Then they head out to the capital gates and leave the city. Are you riding Emberfang? Lorik asks as they walk through the gate. No, I don't know the area enough. It's hard to see where I'm going up there. Vera replies. Nixfang comes out of Lorik's soul, and they get on. She takes off and runs for hours. When the sun starts to set, Lorik guides her to a campsite. It's a small clearing next to a river. They set up their tent and eat dinner before going to bed. The next morning, they eat breakfast before getting back on the road. Nixfang gets them to the dungeon a bit before noon. She's glad to be able to run as fast as she wants. Once they get to the dungeon, they find a group of tents with mages waiting. They're all around 8th tier, as the dungeon is 8th tier. The dungeon entrance is at the base of a tree. The tree looks like it's grown around the entrance. It's the only tree in the clearing where the mages set up camp. Are you ready? Lorik asks Vera as Nixfang returns to his soul. She nods before they head over to the dungeon entrance. A few people turn to look. Most are taken aback seeing a 9th and 10th tier mage entering the dungeon together. But none of them stops them. Lorik and Vera enter the dungeon and walk out in another clearing. It looks the same as the one they came from, except the tents are gone. Where are the monsters? Vera asks while looking around. She's drawn her sword. They're over there, Lorik says while pointing to some nearby trees. They're along a wide path leading up a large hill. They head over before Nixfang jumps out of his soul. I want to fight too, she says before Vera pets her. It would be helpful to have some support, Vera says before they continue. They get to the first Harpies, and Lorik creates a sword aura on his claws. 3 Harpies jump out of the trees. They have bright green wings and sharp talons. Each looks like a man with wings for arms and talons for legs. Their hair is made up of green feathers. Lorik swings his claws at 2 of them. He infused his hunt laws into them, so they chase the Harpies down. His sword aura slices a hole in each of their chests. Vera jumps up and kicks off the tree to slice the 3rd Harpy in half. It had dodged Lorik's sword aura before it chased down a different Harpy. Lorik specified them all as targets, so they chased down whichever Harpy was closest. You shouldn't jump like that. These things use wind laws, so it's dangerous to do that. Lorik says as they gather the crystals. I know, but I'm not confident in my aim. I don't want to waste soul power on attacks that'll miss. Vera replies. Why not practice on them? You need practice to get better, Lorik says, causing her to nod. All right, Vera says before they continue. Lorik finds a group of 4 more harpies. Using her windbird earrings, Vera locates them and takes 2 out with Destructive Ray. She casts 2 at the same time, 1 on each hand. Since the harpies were staying still, she killed them each with a ray to the head. The other 2 take off and start attacking. Lorik runs interference, attacking enough to keep them on him as Vera attacks from a distance. She shoots 4 more rays, missing twice before killing them. 1 hit its heart, but the other cut off the other harpy's wing. Lorik finishes it off after it crashes to the ground. They gather the crystals before continuing. Lorik keeps finding them with his hunter's vision. Then Vera uses her earrings to hit them with her rays before they notice. They kill the next 27 harpies like this until they get to the peak of the hill. There's a ruined stone fort on top. The walls are all destroyed and ruined. They can see harpies flying around inside. There's a large one with bright blue wings in the center of the fort. There are about 10 harpies and the boss, Lorik says after counting them all. Should I take the boss out with a ray before we go in? Vera asks. The boss is standing on a knocked-down tree covered in scratch marks. Yeah, then try picking them off as they come after us. Lorik replies, causing her to nod. She reaches out and casts Destructive Ray. She shoots a small ray out of a magic circle that pierces the boss's skull. It falls limply to the ground, getting the other harpies' attention. They all stare at the boss in shock for a moment before Vera fires another ray. It kills another harpy, knocking them out of their stupor. They take to the air and start screeching. Lorik runs ahead and creates a sword aura on both his claws. Nixfang and Vira launch attacks with more rays and icicles. By the time the harpies get to Lorik, 4 more have died. Lorik takes out 4 more with his sword aura cutting 1 down each before chasing down and killing a second. Nixfang takes out the last harpy with an ice spear, and they gather the crystals. You're getting better with your ray now, Lorik says as they collect the crystals. It's getting easier to predict where they're going, Vera replies. They enter the fort to collect the boss's loot. There's no item, she says, disappointingly. We're planning on clearing it 2 more times. We'll get something then. Lorik says, causing her to smile. They leave the dungeon as Nixfang returns to Lorik's soul. After getting out of the dungeon, they find a place to set up camp. So we'll clear it again tonight and tomorrow morning, right? Vera asks as they prepare lunch. They don't set up their tent, since they'll be entering the dungeon again. They can't watch it when inside the dungeon, so anyone can steal it. Yeah, depending on how it goes tonight. If we get injured, we'll head back instead of doing it again tomorrow, Lorik replies. They make lunch before sitting down and waiting. They talk about random topics for a while before getting to Vera's family. Lorik asks what her parents are like. My mother passed away giving birth to me, but my father took good care of me. My aunt also stepped in and helped raise me. I've never thought of her as my mom, but she's the only motherly figure I have. After getting my law, my father sent me here. At first, it was just to see the outside world, but then I decided to join the academy. Vera replies, I thought you said your father had you join the academy? Did you join it because you wanted to? Lorik asks, causing her to flinch a bit. Yeah, I heard about it from you at the Goblin's Fortress dungeon we cleared before the academy started. I thought it sounded like a good way to see the world, Vera replies. Weren't you worried about being lonely? Nixfang asks. A bit of silvery mist coming off Lorik's chest. A little, but I figured that since Lorik was here, I'd know at least one other person here. Though I didn't expect we'd be on the same team. Vera replies. Do you miss your tribe? Lorik asks. Sometimes, but it's not like I can't go back. I used to need a boat, but with Emberfang, I can fly back. It'll take just about a week to make the entire trip there. Besides, Master told me about an upcoming event at the academy. We'll be heading to the labyrinth near the sea by the Moonfell Islands, Vera says. What's a labyrinth? Lorik asks. It's kind of like the dungeons. They're ruins that birth monsters from mutated monsters. It's under the ocean, and there's a cave leading there on the islands. We'll be heading there in a few weeks, Vera replies. Are you excited then? Lorik asks, causing her to nod. They continue talking a bit about her tribe. After a few hours, they eat dinner before walking back to the dungeon's entrance. They enter it and make their way through the dungeon again.